All right, hello and welcome to the Dad Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Leahy. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for listening. It's been a very fun year. We've finally reached our milestone 50th episode. Now, for those of you that are just tuning in, this is the last episode of the Dad Strength Podcast. I put together basically a journey of research topics and items for parents that I had questions on when I had first become a parent. So I put all these together, and as I did research on them, I found I learned better if I talked about them. I've always been that way. So I recorded a show around it. And it had great downloads. I had fun doing it. Had good feedback. Everyone enjoyed it that I've heard from. I haven't really heard too many negative comments. So if you're just finding the show, know that there's no story arc behind the episodes. I would hope, and I have to go back through and listen, but I would hope these episodes stand the test of time. And each one I kind of did, or at least set up, as its own topic. So pick and choose. If you have questions on reusable diapers, go to that episode. I'll give some pros and cons on it. I try to do a fun, laid-back approach to just some topics, kind of just give a base overview. Not going too much detail because that's hard in an audio-only format. But hopefully it's a fun, light way that you can get a little bit of parenting down, or at least listen to it a little bit. So that was the idea behind the show. And starting the podcast was something I always wanted to do and just learn with it, learn with the technology. And I was able to do that. So here we are, ending it at 50 episodes. It's been great. I know I talked about it. I'm going to give a little intro like this. So this will technically be the 51st episode that posts. But I wanted to go ahead and explain that. For those of you, I was meant to mention this on the behind the scenes, but I didn't. So for those of you who listen to the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you listen to it from the start, you may have had trouble with the feed. That's because the website, so if you listen back through this, you'll know that I talk about a couple different websites throughout the show. When it first started, it was part of a website I own called sociallynumb.com. And the original name for the podcast was Socially Numb Presents Dad Strength, I think. And I changed it. Well, I migrated, then I've got dadstrength.us. You'll hear it on the show. So, and it's probably good that I'm talking about this on the last episode if people listen to this first. So that is probably going to expire, and I'm not going to renew it because I moved everything over to finally RichieLeahy.com, which is my portfolio website, to have one blog. I think I might have had another site in there, the Leahy Report. I was trying to get all my shows in one spot, and I had a couple different domains, and I migrated to a couple different systems to try. I was trying to keep the show free, and we had a lot of downloads, which kind of pushed the price up, which I'm not complaining about because I didn't try to get sponsorships because I wanted to do this to learn, have fun, and hopefully help others. So the show will continue to live for long. I'm going to host it for free with the web archive people, the people that do I forget what that site's called, the Wayback Machine. So they host old audio for free. So I won't have to worry about the cost. People can learn from it. There might be some other headaches. But as I was transitioning stuff, some of the symbols from the Socially Numb Presents, I think I had a colon in there, broke some of the feeds. So you might not have been getting the episodes as I release them each week. But sorry about that. The show was renamed Richie Leahy's Dad Strength. It will end on RichieLeahy.com. That's why I'll archive it. we started to try to do some votes, some lighthearted votes on Ranker.com for the essential items for new dads, which I later just changed to for new parents because I had a lot of moms that listened to the show and a lot of single moms. So I didn't want to exclude them. So that's where that was. And that's hopefully going to still be active for a while. I'm going to do some videos as I did. Those will be posted on YouTube. But hopefully this is a good wrap up. That's pretty much the information that I can give you. If you find this later through RichieLeahy.com and you hear all that other stuff, that's why. It's because the site moved, it grew, I was learning, trying to keep it free. Didn't want to just bleed money on the show. So there was some transfers and probably some problems. But it was the first ever podcast I ever did. And I think we're set up now to live on. So tell your friends. Hopefully they learn a little bit. You learn a little bit. And just get some parenting stuff. It's a nice, fun way, laid back way to learn. Or at least hear someone talk about parenting. As a dad, I mentioned this before, it's a good way to tell your significant other that, hey, I'm doing some research on parenting. And I'm just learning from what I'm telling you. That's good enough. You can at least learn some things from some of the mistakes and stuff that I did. But again, thank you for listening. I'll be putting out new videos. I think I talked about it a couple episodes ago that break down a little bit more specific toys, what they do, putting them on YouTube. So you can follow me there, Richie Leahy. That's where some of the more parenting stuff is going to come. I do have a blog. I'm still transferring posts for this site because I talked about it before. Once I started to get a bunch of downloads, I started to do more research so that I was more prepared for the show, which put me behind on show notes, and I never really caught up. Plus, moving sites, once you start to get bills in the mail, you have to move them pretty quickly to try to find free hosting and stuff. And that kind of like set me back. But now that this show is ending, everything will be caught up, and hopefully everything is up to date and on my site whenever you hear this. But it will live on. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I will be around on Twitter. I'll be doing some more parenting stuff in my blog. So if you bookmark RichieLeahy.com, everything's going to live there. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll help the best I can. I can point you in any direction, even with helping you find some of the research stuff I talked about in the last episode, just to help you learn, get you hopefully confident being a parent, because that's the worst thing. You want to be confident around your child because they're going to pick up on that. It's kind of just like the most confident animal is leader in the wild. Be confident around your kid because then they'll feel safe around you. So I know it's going to be scary. It's hard. It was hard for me. But I use this as a way, kind of like an outlet to learn and grow and give me some confidence. So hopefully you can use it in that same way. And I really appreciate you listening. My name is Richie Leahy. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Send me messages. Follow the YouTube. I'll have a parenting section set up. And the audio for Dad Strength will also live there, along with the feed will continue to live on, so you can tell others. But thanks again. Farewell. And enjoy being a parent.